Hey guys, Anna here. Welcome to today's video. So today we are in the beautiful world of Copperdale and we are back with another collaboration build. Today is extremely special. So I have a friend, you may know him, Simmer Rue. Now Simmer Rue is a very wonderful person. He's very close to me. He is literally that viewer who he is the first to watch every single upload. He's the first to comment and like, and he is such a supporter of this channel, and I think the absolute world of this man, and I really enjoy our conversations and our chats and just talking about Sims, and it's just great. I really value our friendship, and this build meant a lot to me and I wanted to get it right. But our friend Simmer Rue really did give us a challenge, guys. Like, this build is a 40k family home for a single mum with how many kids? 5 kids? Yeah, 5 kids. Single mom, and she loves sunflowers. So they were the restrictions that I was given, and this was a home where I knew I wanted to give something that was a little bit more, I don't know, family home, but also had a little bit of a dated feel as well. So that's why I wanted to go with the bay window tower type situation and the tall roof, the high-pitched roofs. And when we get into the build, you'll definitely see that design come together and how we give you something that's a little bit more dated, but still quite relevant, I suppose. Obviously, the one issue that I had with this build is the fact that, you know, this is a 5-bedroom home. This is a 5-bedroom home. So to do a 5-bedroom home with 40k is definitely a steep ask, but we do a lot of different tricks to lower that budget, and we very much spared sparingly. So these spandrels in this section, which we're then going to create a lattice type covering, it was one of the pivotal parts of design. So there were certain things that I could have, gotten rid of or made cheaper, but they were part of that design and they had to be included. And those spandrels were one of those things. The next thing is, this is yellow. This build is yellow because the mum really loves sunflowers. So I really wanted to do a yellow build. I thought it was super sweet to do a yellow build and to make it more dated, old-fashioned. And yeah, I really enjoy how this build turned out. And as I said before, it was a very special build to me. I wanted to make sure that it was perfect. It's quite interesting when you build for other builders, because when they critique your work, you know that they know what they're talking about. So I wanted to make sure that there were absolutely 0 errors. And I wanted to make sure that, this was a home where if he wanted to have a family in there, he could move them in. All right, so this was a little bit of a laugh for him, because there was one time when I contacted him, I was doing a build for somebody, and he was telling me to do a trellis. And I was like, what on earth is a trellis? And this is exactly what he was talking about. And this is actually a trick that I do all the time. So with the smooth keeper fence, you put in some ceilings and you take the fence and you draw these custom kind of, it's called a trellis. So Rue taught us what a trellis was. So I had to incorporate a trellis. This was a very expensive addition. So this kind of focal point was expensive, but it was so needed, and I think that this house would not be the same had I not done this. So originally I was going to do it at the front and the back, but I decided to just do it at the front. Now let's talk a little bit more about the restrictions. So it being a Copperdale build means that it is a high school years and base game build only. However, I do make, exceptions if I'm told to via the storyline. So the storyline that Rue had also given me was the fact that there was laundry, but it was like the hand washing basin laundry and a clothesline. So in order to do laundry, we obviously have to use the laundry day stuff pack. So that bay window came from Laundry Day, and it is such a beautiful bay window. I'm obsessed with it, and it really makes this home. So I'm really glad that we were able to use that pack. And yeah. All right, so we are moving on to the floor plan. As I do all the time, I start with the stairs. So this was an interesting kind of floor plan because I wanted to map out the bedrooms and how I was going to fit 5 bedrooms, because I really could not add to the shell. This shell could not change because, you know, we only have 40K. It's really not a lot. Like, just to give you some context, when I build generally a 5-bedroom home, those builds are always over, I would say, 90 to 100K plus. So to do a 5-bedroom home for 40K, it was a challenge. But, you know, I asked for it. I sure did. And he delivered. So, and I think it turned out all right. I think this home turned out all right. It's not as decorated as I would like it to be, but I think that it has all of the elements there that it needs to have. And yeah, I had the most fun building this, the most fun. And yeah, so I do realize that I have to make some adjustments to the build for budget reasons, and I decided to actually remove the spandrels off the back porch. We actually then shortened that back porch as well, so that saves us some simoleons. I also get rid of all of the high school year windows, and I make them into the cheaper, I think they're the Octopane windows from Base Game, just because it's cheaper. Just purely because it's cheaper. And yeah, so a little bit more about this family. So this family is the Riddle family that live here. So the Riddle family, a family that I created in Creator Sim. So I had permission from Rue to create a family because I wanted to, like we did with Mondays with Vanley's build, I wanted to create the families that live in these builds as a way to kind of tie the content together. So the Riddle family, which is named after Rue, Simmer Rue, so the Creator Sim of that, we met the family. So Molly Riddle is the single mum, and she has her 5 kids. So she has 2 sets of twins. So she has twin toddler boys. And then we have a middle son, which is Adam. And then we have the twin girls, Emily and Gemma. And Emily and Gemma are very kind of like, they're like yin and yang. They're complete opposites. And it's really, you'll see that when we get into decorating their bedrooms, how that kind of personality transcribes into those rooms. All right, so I went in with some debug fencing. As you can imagine, all landscaping is going to be debug due to the budget restrictions. But I can tell you that he could not have picked a better world, because Copperdale has this has the best debug menu. And I was just so excited to be able to create something that was super kind of like nature loving and what have you. And I've got the debug planter boxes there. We put sunflowers in there because sunflowers were part of the brief. I had to include them. And I really went in with these debug stone pieces. And I made some stepping stones as a pathway between the front and the back. You guys know I love to do this. I just believe that it makes the build look a little bit more cohesive in your landscaping. And it just adds on to that kind of, this is a family home. And I think what I love so much about this build is not only because of who it's for, but this is my style of building. This is my style of building. This is the stuff that if I was not, producing for YouTube, I would build this all day, every day. These type of family homes, these kind of, I just love them. Absolutely love them. This cutesy kind of family home. This is textbook Anna. Now, those vine pieces, so they were beautiful. I've actually, as you saw, I sized them up, raised them up, and I've kind of draped them over the trellis, and I really love how it turned out. They just kind of emphasize that focal piece in the trellis, which is really good. And yeah, the landscaping, we do get rid of those kind of vinery that's onto the building. I think in the end it just didn't suit. But the main landscaping is generally some low-laying flowers, lots of yellow, as yellow is a very important color. Greenery, the trees, they're kind of like pine trees, I believe. And yeah, I really love this. And then daisies, of course. Do I use anything else? No, but that's okay. I think it worked out. So yeah, a little bit more about this build. So this is definitely one of those builds, as the budget was very much restricted, that I would place things and then like place absolutely everything you need, like to make the home functional, and then go back and add and add and add. So you'll see that towards the end where we definitely, you know, add, delete, add, delete, add, delete, just to try to get that budget to 40K. I think I actually go slightly under. And I think I do that with all my builds because I'm too scared to go over. Alrighty, so these white flowers are beautiful from the debug menu. They're some of my favorites. We're just going in with some terrain paint. Sometimes I do this in my flower beds. I leave gaps. And I think it's more realistic that, you know, plants would grow in different places. Doesn't look, you know, sometimes you want it to be a little bit more methodical, but for family homes, sometimes a little bit more of a sporadic approach is best. And yeah, I believe this is the part where I but I reduced the back porch. We just needed the simoleons, and it didn't really make sense because we couldn't really afford to furnish that whole porch. So it made sense to just reduce it, yeah. I loved combining the terrain paints. We went in with that dewy kind of sandy but green terrain paint, and then just normal dirt. All right, so we are inside. So this is the downstairs, right? So let's talk a little bit about it. So the right-hand side of the build, you walk in, you have your living room. We then have a kitchen, and that has a breakfast kind of table. And then you have a formal dining. So this actually has a formal dining. Don't ask me how I managed to do a separate dining room for 40K, but I managed it. And then you follow the hallway around. You have the toilet, you have the master bedroom and the twin toddler room. So that room is shared. And then upstairs you have Adam's bedroom, and then you've got the two girls' rooms. They are separate. They don't share a room, but I couldn't do double beds in this home. So unfortunately, the girls have single beds, but I still think they turned out really nicely, their bedrooms. And yeah, so we're starting off with the kitchen, as I usually do. And originally I went with blue furniture. Don't ask me why. I think it was more just, I wanted to kind of emulate that things were they were broke, right? I'm emulating that they don't have a lot of money, and that the furniture that they've gotten is maybe furniture that was there when they bought the house. Maybe it came with the house, and that, yeah, very eccentric colors. So we are moving into the living room. So this was kind of part of that process where I placed everything that was important. So as you can see, we are jumping into the master bedroom where I'll place the bed and maybe a side table. Good thing these side tables from high school years are really cheap. That helped a lot. Some of the assets are quite cheap, so it was actually a really good pack restricted build to have, being that high school years. So yeah, the twin toddler room, I believe I just put some beds and some toys. I don't put too much in this room as I really cannot afford it. But then I go in with some wallpaper, and I wanted to do some accent walls with some blues and what have you. We do end up changing them, but we do still use funky wallpaper. This is Adam's bedroom, the middle son, and he is, he gets his own bedroom, but it's a very standard kids room. Like, I'm pretty confident all I add to that room is a rug, and then call it a day. Because you know what? I actually think that's a well-furnished kids' room. It's basically got everything you need, a bed and a blaffy. Nothing else that you really need in a kids' room. But I went with the greens and the blues and the yellows. And then we get into the bedroom. So this is Gemma's room. Oh, we're just downstairs. I'm just changing that wallpaper for the toddlers. And as I said, this is Gemma's room. So we've got the poinsettia wallpaper. We've got the greens and the light colours. And then we move over to across the hall with the vibrant darks and the kind of blues and the purples. And this is Emily's room. And if you've watched the Creator Sim video of the Riddle Family, you'll see how like Emily's personality is so different to Gemma's, even though they're twins. And yeah, so their rooms are fairly similar but different. So Gemma's room they both have that kind of like, I don't know what it is. It's like a clothes hanging rack as opposed to a wardrobe because it's cheaper. I actually did the math. I worked it out how much it would cost for that, for the clothes rack with just some hanging clothes versus a wardrobe, and it was cheaper. So I went with that. So we changed the whole main wallpaper. So it went from a pale yellow to a blue. I just think it suited better. I changed the furniture in the dining room and the kitchen into a green as opposed to a blue. Again, we're still playing on that dated feel. But yeah, I really enjoyed this. We've got a chess table out front with a bench. And this is the breakfast table. I even was able to upgrade the chairs. So I think Rue would be very impressed that he has a breakfast table and a formal dining. I did not expect me to be able to do this, but it really worked well. And it will be coming up, but you will see there are a couple of design things that we had to make in order to afford these kind of options. We went in with some rugs because the rugs from high school years aren't actually that expensive and they size up really well. So that was a really big help. I was able to squeeze a computer in this build, which I thought was very important. I'm so glad I was able to do that because I just feel that it would work. There are a desk in each of the teen bedrooms, just because I think it's more realistic for what they need. And yeah, I really love their rooms. I think that they're really furnished well, even though I had a small budget. And I was really proud of myself to be able to create these rooms and to create them to be kind of different and that their personality shows still, but still matching with the budget and the color scheme. So yeah, there's that rug that I mentioned for Adam's bedroom. And then I forgot that I had to do the laundry, right? Like that was part of the brief. So I only had about 10,000 simoleons left. And I was like, oh my God, I need to get the laundry stuff out there. But in all of that, I actually forget to place hampers. So I am so sorry, Rue. There's no hampers. So if you choose to download this house, maybe, get to work and maybe place a hamper. So right now there's no hampers. So, which I thought was hilarious that I forgot this considering it was part of the brief. We were able to actually upgrade the couch. So we've got a high school years couch. You guys know I love this thing and a beanbag. And I really loved the blues, the purples and the yellows and how that played. I wanted to put something on this wall. As you know, with the budget, I wasn't able to use a lot of paintings. So I used a lot of wall decor pieces and what have you. And that really helped. Upgraded the toilet because I could afford it. In the master bedroom, you saw that I actually used carpet tiling as opposed to getting a rug for the master bedroom. And that's how you can save money. It was a cheaper way to furnish that room. But that master bedroom, it does look very sad. But I think that, it's a little bit realistic. I feel like with single mums, they prioritize the children a little bit more. So the children have really, really pretty rooms and her room, not so much. Yeah. So this is Gemma's room. Oh, sorry. Now we're changing the flooring. So originally we had that light wood tone, but now I've gone into traditional, like a middle brown. I've put an archway as opposed to the double doors. I'm so glad the doors that came with high school years were so cheap. They're like beautiful doors and like 50 simoleons. That helped a ton. Just going in with some immaculate shelves. It wouldn't be an Anna build without it. And we're actually just moving the furniture that was on that TV stand over onto the shelf and upgrading the TV. So this is what I mean by I think I did really well. I was able to take the furniture I had and make it work for me. And I believe every room really does just look furnished. Like nothing looks unfurnished to me. It doesn't look overly empty. Like I am so proud of myself for being able to create a 5-bedroom home with 40K. It was a huge challenge, but I really enjoyed the outcome. And I really hope that both the Riddle family and Rue will really enjoy playing in this household, in this home, if he ever does. I'm not sure if he intends to play in this, but I really hope that he appreciates what we've done here today. It meant so much to me to be able to create this for him and to collaborate with him you know, if you think my content is amazing, like his is phenomenal. The fact that he, you know, produces speed builds and other Sims related content 7 days a week, like every single day there is content, and he is definitely worth that subscription. And he's just he's such a charmer. He's so funny. He's a really good person. So I think I have tooted his horn way more than I should have. But all of Rues Socials will be down in the description box below. Be sure to like, subscribe, and look out for his channel. We are in the tour. So this is the backyard, the side yard, I should say. There's that living room. Really went with the blues. Into the kitchen with that breakfast nook. I thought the egg rug was good. You know, a bit playful. Moving around to the bathroom. There's the toddler's room, the master bedroom, Adam's room, Gemma's room. There's Emily. Oh, no, we're still in Gemma's room. Emily's room. Really fun. And yeah, so that is the build, guys. So welcome to Simmer Rue's house. I hope you enjoyed today's video. And as I said down below, all of Rue's socials will be down below. Please give him a look. He does some wonderful stuff. And yeah, and with that, I hope you have a wonderful day. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye for now.